Today we're testing the difference in exposure and noise from full frame to APS-C crop on the Lumix S5iix. A misconception I see all the time is that the APS-C crop actually limits your low light performance. So we're going to compare the exposure from full frame to APS-C, and we're also going to compare the noise while we're at it. Here we have the full frame 4K clip. I've got the waveform up in the top right corner so you can take a peek at the exposure. Was actually spot metering in the center of the frame to plus 1.2 stops, and the entire frame's metering was at 0. Here it is scaled to 150%, which is essentially the image you get when you're shooting in the APS-C crop. And here it is scaled to 400% in like a pretty high dynamic range area. The noise is totally acceptable to me. It's borderline hardly noticeable. This recording is from the same exact position. All I did was switch the image area of video from full to APS-C. The spot meter in like the same spot as the full frame shot was again showing plus 1.2 stops. The entire frame luminance meter was actually showing plus 1/3 stop because this is just a brighter segment of the frame. Here's this shot scaled up 400%. The noise is still perfectly acceptable, especially considering this is 400% on top of the already 50% scale you get from the APS-C crop. Here we have a side-by-side comparison with full frame on the left and the APS-C mode on the right. There doesn't appear to be much of a difference between the two, and I'm using a full 4K monitor, 27-inch monitor, as my preview window. I went ahead and scaled up the full frame image on the left to 150% scale, so it's like the exact same image as the APS-C on the right, and I genuinely think the APS-C image looks better. There's less noise, the details are sharper. I'm going to go ahead and scale it in again so we can see like the finer details. Scaling the full frame to 400% and the APS-C to 250%, to me the detail and the noise on the APS-C clip looks better than the full frame scaled up to the same frame size. Here's the same shot recorded in 6K open gate, and I'm going to go through a few of the different scales as well for this one. Here it is at 65% scale to give you the same field of view as the full frame. Here it is at 100% scale. There's still essentially no noticeable noise in the shadows. Here it is scaled to 250%. The noise is perfectly acceptable again. And here it is at 500% scale. The noise really doesn't look that bad even in this shot here. Here's a comparison between open gate, APS-C, and full frame. The scales are listed below them there. The noise is honestly really comparable for all of them. The APS-C crop probably has the smallest and best noise pattern though. As you can see from these tests, there's not really any difference in noise or exposure when you're going from full frame to APS-C crop in camera. Some people think or assume that since you're cropping to APS-C in camera, that your sensor is going to be having the same performance as an APS-C sensor. But really, you're getting all of the benefits of a full frame sensor with just basically a digital zoom. If you like to see little random tests like this a couple times a year, go ahead and subscribe.